to another episode of Young Black Suburban. I'm here with my guest who is not here. This is a Zoom interview. We haven't had many of those uh, in a while. Ana Rosado, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Um, just so happens that my assistant is friends with you. And I'm like, yo, why don't you hook me up and see if she wants to be on the show? And she's like, yeah, uh, let me see. And now you're here.
I was
Um,
so excited. I was so excited.
yeah, cool, cool. So, first of all, you're in Puerto Rico. What's going on there?
My grandmother's birthday is today, and of course, tomorrow's Mother's Day. And recently, my grandmother lost her husband, which is my grandfather.
Sorry to
So
hear
it's
that.
been really tough for her, just being by herself and stuff like that. And so I decided to just book my flight and surprise her for her birthday and Mother's Day. And I actually just did my live surprising her, and like everyone was just in tears because she was crying, like she was so shocked. So it was nice.
Nice. And for our viewers that don't know, Anna is a business owner. That's why we're not just here to talk about uh, our days. She owns a company called Ana Bakes LLC. And I
Yes.
believe it said cookies and treats as well. Uh,
Yes.
so how's business going for a baker during the pandemic? I know that people still have to eat.
Yes.
But
It's
how's
actually
your business going?
It's actually going really great. I mean, when I first started, I was hesitant because I thought like, okay, the pandemic, like especially with a lot of people like losing their jobs and hours being cut, like I didn't think that, so many people would be ordering from me considering, parties being canceled and stuff like that. But I get a lot of business. I even get to the point where I have to turn people down because my schedule is just so jam packed
I actually
with
saw one
people
of
coming
your
at me.
I saw one of your posts that was like, no,
Yeah,
no more.
I had to stop with the orders because I'm all the way booked out until September at this point.
Wow.
And so it gets a little overwhelming. So my business is not, it's not my main business. It's not like my main source of income. I do have a full-time job, so my baking is kind of like my side business.
Okay. Yeah.
So I try to keep up with it as much as I can, but it gets a little tough sometimes.
Right. How did this passion for baking come about anyway? Was it from your grandma who you're visiting now?
No, no.
Oh,
So
that would have been a great story.
it would have been a great story, but my grandmother does no baking, unfortunately. She's the cook of the family, so she cooks a lot, but she doesn't bake.
Okay.
So I really, when I was younger, I watched a lot of like the Cake Boss and like a lot of those baking shows.
Right.
Um,
Uh-oh.
and I had a passion of the cakes, and I loved to do the cakes. And then I kind of fell out of the passion of the cakes and started with the cookies back in 2019. So it's only been about like 2 years since I've been doing the cookies, and I was so
Uh-oh.
determined. If I show you the first picture of my cookies, you're going to be like, "What is that?"
Do you have them with you?
Um, I can send them to you. I can probably share the content. Like, if I don't know how to really use the Zoom too well,
Me
but
either. My internet is
if
going
I show
crazy.
you my first set of cookies, you'd be like, I'm not gonna order cookies from this person. But I was very determined to get it perfect, or close to it. And I practiced and I practiced and I practiced. And I got to the point where I am today, and my business is just, I have people constantly wanting cookies and cookies and cookies. Like, I was determined to not only get the taste there, but the
Right.
look as well. And so
Right.
here I am.
What why are these cookies so special? What makes Anna have to turn people down?
I honestly, I take pride in my work. So, I mean, I won't put out a cookie or give a cookie to a customer if it's not perfect. If I mess up on it, like I'm literally putting it to the side and I'm starting all over, So, like if I've messed up a couple batches, I rebake. And if I messed up decorating, I rebake or I redo, So I think it's that I take so much pride in what I do that, that makes people want to come back to me. And I guess that helps.
Right. Um, so you're a young woman and an entrepreneur. How has it been, forming your own LLC as a businesswoman, cookies aside? I want to talk so much about the cookies, but we want people to get to know you as well because the face behind the product is very important. As a young entrepreneur, female as well, how's it been?
It was hard for me to decide to want to go and pursue my LLC. In the beginning, I was very scared because I was just like, how do I do this? How do I go about this? Like I didn't know which direction to go, like I didn't know where to go, but I had met this another female entrepreneur, and her name is Crystal, and she makes macaroons. And me running into the same path as her, like she literally is God sent to me because there aren't many people out there who are willing to share their knowledge. And I came across a lot of that,
Right.
in my baking world, where it was kind of like they make you fend for yourself. But Crystal was very open and she's like, oh, I have my LLC and this is what you can do. And this is where you can start. And this is what you should do. And this is what you shouldn't do. And she was very open with me. And she's been in
Right.
the business, I think I think it was like 7 or 8 years, she told me. And I literally knew this person, just met her. I just ordered macaroons from her just because I love macaroons and I wanted to try her macaroons. And me meeting her, she literally was an open book. And that to me is like something that you really don't get very often. Like you don't
Right.
get somebody who wants to share that knowledge with you, and her wanting to see me win with her, that meant a lot to me,
Right.
and I'll always hold a special place in my heart for her,
Right.
because she's the one, who helps me achieve my LLC. She's the one who, guided me in the right direction. So when you hear of, women empowering women, like
Right.
that's
Right.
her. Like, and I give it to her because she really helps me, so it just it helps when you have people who want to see you win. And
Right. Is
so
there a lot
but
is there a lot of haters in the baking world?
there is there is
Yeah.
there is a lot. And there's a lot of just talk that shouldn't be going on, like you should want to see everybody win,
Yeah.
like I'm always there to try to support everybody. And it's sad that when you don't get it in return,
Yeah.
So you kind of just try to put that to the side. And I just keep going. I just keep
Right.
going regardless of what anybody thinks.
And your friend, I already forgot her name. I'm sorry. Uh,
Crystal.
Crystal. Yeah, Crystal. Uh, she gave you the keys to start, your business.
Hmm.
Um, how was it your first, couple of months as a business owner?
It was good. It was nerve wracking for me, because I'm like, I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to do something wrong and then, mess up what I worked so hard for. But, she always was there to listen to what I had to say, and always there to, boost my spirits and say, like, listen, like, everything's going to be okay. Like, like you have your passion, you're there, you just have to keep it going.
Right.
So, I mean, you're going to have your good days and you're going to have your bad days. That's with anything.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
with your 9 to 5 jobs as well,
Right.
but it's just how fast you get back up.
Right. And what's the process like? Like you have a regular job, but then you have to get into cooking mode. Um, do you have like a certain process that you follow or
My days are very crazy.
yeah,
So I work
let us hear
um
about those crazy days.
I work Monday through Friday, and I start work at 7:30. I get off of work at 4:30. And then I am baking after that. And when I'm not baking and doing my cookies, I am attending to my 3 children. So I have 3
Okay.
kids. I have a 16-year-old daughter who plays
Wow.
football.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yes. I have a 16-year-old daughter who plays football. My son's about
Wait,
to
she
be 30.
plays football.
Yes, my daughter's a female football player. I don't know if anybody's heard of her. She's been on the news. Case
I think
Smith.
she was at my gym.
She was.
Yeah. Okay.
She was.
I didn't
So
know that was
that's
your
her.
daughter. It's a
Yes.
small world.
Yes. So that's
Okay.
my daughter. And then my son is he'll be 13 in June. And then I have my youngest daughter is 10, and she also plays football. She plays flag football.
Okay.
So I am a very involved parent, sports parent at that. So when I'm not working my, 9 to 5 per se, and not baking, then I'm on the field with my girls. So my days are very hectic, and I sleep not much, but
You're doing
it gets
it
done.
all. Well, I'm
Yes,
sure that it's worth it.
it
Um,
is.
you get that dopamine drop from customer appreciation when they say, "Wow, these are the best cookies I ever had." You know, what kind of feeling does that give you?
Oh, it's the best feeling ever. Like it kind of like breaks my heart when I have like customers that are referred to me from somebody else, and then like I have to like turn them down, or or anything like that. Like it hurts me because I try my best to fit people in, and that's where I end up messing up, because like I'll overbook myself, and then I catch myself like getting like 2 hours of sleep in a matter of like 2 days, and it's horrible. So that's why I had to like slow down a little bit, because I was overdoing it too much, and I was literally not sleeping at all.
Right.
But if it was up to me, I'd be doing cookies all day, every day.
Right.
So maybe one of these days I will eventually own my own spot. But right now, just gonna take it little by little.
Well, it's kind of, a lot of people don't really take in consideration the balance that especially females, males do have to balance a lot, but females are looked at as, also people that are supposed to take, not supposed to, I don't want to say that. I'm trying to choose my words wisely, but you're caregivers, you have 3 girls, and
Two girls,
two girls
one
and
boy.
1 boy. I
Mhm.
swear I'm listening to you. I remember Crystal's name now and everything. But you're juggling so much, and you have to have so much energy and so much strength to get through it.
Yeah.
And with that being said, you need a support system, of course, to take care of all that. Is that something that you do focus on, or are you on the road by yourself? You have a support system?
I do have a good support system. So I just recently got engaged. So
Congratulations.
I thank you.
I
So
also
my
read that as well.
yeah, so my fiance is very supportive of me. Like, so he plans to one day, help me open up my own shop. But we take things, slowly right now. But my kids, I honestly do this for them. I want them to see that it doesn't matter, where you start, or, where you've come from. It's what matters is what you make of your situation.
Right.
So like I've come from a not so great background, like, so I never had anything handed to me. I had to work hard for everything that I have.
Right.
So I want my kids to see that, you can get what you want as long as you work hard for it.
Right.
So my kids have seen me come from work and go right into the cookies and still be there to attend their games, to attend their practices, and, and go to bed late and wake up early. So I try to show them that, things aren't always going to be handed to you. You have to work for it. So my everyday thing when I wake up is that, like, I do this for them. Like, I want them to see that you have to work hard, to
Right.
get what you want.
And you're originally from Bristol Borough?
Yes, I was born and raised in Bristol Borough.
Okay, let's dive into that a little bit. Before I get back to the specifics of your cookies, did you go to Bristol High?
I did. I graduated in Bristol High School in 2005.
Cool. I'm all over the place with this because I should have asked you that right off the bat, but I was like kind of nervous because this is our first time talking. So you know where the gym is, right? On Jefferson Street.
Yeah.
So
Yes, right by the clock tower.
we're inside the clock tower building.
Yes.
How far is Anna's uh cookies?
Anna Bakes. So I don't have a shop. So
No,
I am outside of, I do it right from my house, and I'm on Buckley Street.
you're on Buckley Street. Okay, so
Yes.
that's not far. And you have like Instagram and
Yeah.
pictures and all that, or
Yeah. So on my cookie work is on Instagram and on Facebook. I do a lot of flash, well, not a lot, like try to do as much flash sales as I can. And a flash sale is just basically when I have time to make extra cookies, then I'll do a live, and it's like a sale, like on my live. And I've gotten really good responses from them. And especially for people who can't make it to my house, because I've tried the porch pop-ups, and those I've gotten pretty good responses from, but then I've had people who couldn't attend, so my live flash sales get more responses because more people are able to join, because your phone is always in your hand,
right.
So people are join my live flash sales, and then, that's how people are able to purchase my cookies, and then they come, later on to pick them up for my house.
So it's not like every day, like I can just stop by and pick up, not yet at least.
Not yet. Not
Okay.
yet. I'm hoping one day when I have my shop, I'll be able to do something like that. But because I have like custom orders that I have to complete for customers, and because I work full-time job and my kids' sports schedule, it
Yeah.
doesn't allow me to complete cookies and have available every day for people. So
And what is your regular job?
I'm an administrative assistant for a chemical research and innovation center.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that sounds pretty serious.
Yeah. Pretty
on
important job.
on top of making cookies and
Yeah.
all. In the future, you already mentioned a little bit that you want a storefront or a location to do it.
Yeah.
Have you been thinking about, the steps to take that, or where?
I would love to have it in the borough, just because I love my hometown. Like, I would love to service my hometown. I get a lot of my customers from the borough, so that to me would mean a lot to me to have a storefront in the borough. So I haven't looked into much of where or how, because I feel like maybe it would happen later on down the line, but right now it's just not within the works right now. So
But you're outgrowing, just
I
by
am.
talking to you.
I am.
You're outgrowing your space, and what happens is that, like, you're forced to take that step. Um,
Yeah.
I can
It,
I
it
can
gets it gets really it gets really scary sometimes, because when you're a mom, you have to factor in, like, for example, like my job offers me, like my 401k benefits, they offer me good health insurance.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times I think to myself, like I would have to leave that, to open up a storefront, and, like I won't have that anymore. So it scares me a little bit to drop that,
Yeah.
which is why I stay with my job, because that's a definite for me right now. And, when you have kids, you have to make sure that they're taken care of.
And entrepreneurship definitely is a gamble.
It is.
I if I could give you any advice, I would advise you to keep your job.
Yes.
And still try to little by little reach that goal of opening up your own spot at the same time. Um, just because there's nothing like being your own boss, and making your own hours, and being in control. You're already in control of your product. Um,
Yeah. I crave it. I crave it so much, because I'm like, I know that I can do it just
yeah,
because of um what I bring in from it. Like I just bought my house last year in July, and I was able to achieve that with what I made from selling my cookies, so I know that I can do it. It's just, it gets a little scary when you have kids involved,
yeah,
because I'm like, I have a mortgage, I
yeah.
have a car note, like what if something happens and my business, I have to think about the what ifs, because I have children involved.
Right. Listening to you, I think you're gonna make it. If you make that choice, you seem like a determined person. Now, if you had one product from your company, uh, that would pay for another house, what would that product be? What's your number one seller?
My cookies are my number one seller.
Well, is
But
there like a certain flavor or a certain?
oh,
Yeah, I'm looking for more
so
specifics.
So my vanilla is my signature. My vanilla sugar cookie is my signature flavor, but I do offer, like, I have cookies and cream. I have a strawberry sugar cookie. I have a red velvet, a peanut butter, chocolate chip. The list goes on, but I also do sell cheesecake. I sell just regular drop cookies, which is like a chocolate chip cookie, or those that aren't decorated.
Right.
So I do cheesecakes. I do my strawberry banana crunch cupcakes are a big seller.
Right. Now, is this all you? Do you have anyone that helps you?
No, this is all me.
All you.
Yeah.
So, with your expansion, you'll probably be looking to get some help as well, right?
Yeah, I would have to look into the child labor laws, because I put my kids to work. How about that?
I think after your kids, you're like, there might be, yeah, it might just be considered bonding or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So when I had my porch sales, they helped out a lot, and they loved it. Like they wanted to be in charge of the cash register, and they did the bagging. So they liked helping me out, so, but I limit them to helping out after the cookies are done, because there's just that gray area, like where if it's a cookie for a customer, like I get really OCD about it, because I'm just like, I got to make sure gloves are on, you got to make sure your hair's tied, so I take a lot of precautions when I'm creating my baked goods for my customers, because I don't want anything to go wrong.
Right. Quality control.
Yes. Even if it is in my home. So as much as I can.
Yeah. Do you do like special like events? Like, do people call you up for birthdays or weddings or?
Yeah. So a lot of the cookies that I do are for birthdays. Like, so I am actually doing my fiance's mom's wedding in June. And I am going to be doing the Juneteenth event. So I'll be down on Juneteenth. And I actually have a table for Juneteenth. So I'll be selling my cookies for Juneteenth for anybody who's interested. I'm going to be doing like, Juneteenth themes. Sorry.
That's cool.
I'll be doing a lot of Juneteenth themed cookies. And so like I said, I've already have my table for that.
Right. And is that going to be on Mill Street?
I think it's on Mill Street. I'm not 100% sure. If the table's not on Mill Street, then it's more down the riverfront.
Okay.
So I haven't had final confirmation of where it's at, but I know I do have a table set for it.
Right. I was gonna ask you that question earlier. Like, do you go to the events that are in the borough and set up a table? Like I know my gym. We've been to the elementary school. We've been on First Fridays. Uh,
So this is my first event. So I've never done this before. So I'm actually like a little nervous because I'm like, I'm gonna have to make a lot of cookies for this.
right.
But so I'm hoping to see like if this goes well, then I'll be doing a lot more events, which is why I had to put a stop to like the custom orders for now because I have to prep for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah. And it is like everything else, once you do it once, then the second time it gets easier. You'll probably start with Juneteenth, and then the next thing I know, I'll see you walking down the Christmas parade, waving at everybody. We're like, look at her, growing up.
yeah,
And
right.
and Bristol Borough is a great place for business.
It
And
is.
then I hate to keep bringing up that you're a female, and but you're also a minority as well,
Yes.
and to be representing your culture has to be a big deal, and it has to be something that you're proud of as well.
Yeah, to be Hispanic and to, be a female entrepreneur, like it's a lot. Like you people don't think it's a big deal, but it is because a lot of people, they doubt you. They doubt you not only because you're a woman, but because you're Hispanic, and they don't think that you can do it, but I think that I broke a lot of barriers, and I think I've gotten pretty far, so I'm proud of myself, and I think that I've made my kids very proud, so it's it's all up from here. That's
Yeah,
all I can
definitely.
do.
Yeah, and I'm sure your family, the rest of your extended family, are proud,
Yeah.
or hating. So
I send a lot of my cookies down to Puerto Rico all the time.
right.
So like my grandmother, I would send them down to her, and she would say they're too pretty to eat. And I opened her freezer, and they're literally half of the cookies I've sent her in her freezer because she won't eat them.
So are your parents first generation like on the continent? I know Puerto Rico's part of America, but are they like first generation Bristol or
So my mother was born in Bristol.
okay,
My father, I don't really have a good relationship with my father. My mom was a single mom.
okay,
So I don't really know too much about my dad. But my grandparents were born in Puerto Rico. So they had my mom and my aunts and uncles over in Bristol as
mhm,
well. But then when they retired, they moved back to Puerto Rico. So I come here every couple years to visit.
cool. Have your children been there?
Yes, yeah. So my son celebrated his ninth birthday over here not too long ago. So yeah, we come here pretty frequently.
Cool. Um, I'm just trying to get all the information I can out of you and find out as much as I can. You seem very interested. What is the next step? We know that, the storefront is a little bit ways off, but for you, what do you see, Anna Bakes, where do you see it in like a year from now?
I would like to see Anna Bakes do like cookie classes. I've gotten a lot of people asking like if I would teach cookie classes, like decorating classes. So like like mommy and me classes and stuff like that. So with the pandemic, like a lot of I noticed that a lot of other cookiers that I follow on Instagram were doing them like online
Right.
and stuff like that. But like once everything starts to open up and we go back to, normal, I would like to see myself go that route, like that would be fun and interesting because everything was a learning process for me. Like I didn't go to school for any of this. I
Right.
didn't take any classes. I didn't go to school. I don't have a degree. I learned all of this YouTube and Instagram is how I learned how to do my cooking.
Right.
Um, so I think it would be nice if I, started some classes and taught some of my fellow Bristol Borough people to do what
Right.
I do.
I have another idea on top of that. Like just like they do the wine and paint things,
Yeah.
wine and cookies. That sounds like the perfect day for me.
And then you can eat it right after, like
Right after, yeah. That sounds cool.
what
And also things to do with your kids, that's great. Um, yeah,
yeah.
I would definitely go and be a patron. My other half, she's a natural baker. Um, so I would bring her as well. And we're both wine drinkers. Make sure you
Yeah. I'm thinking, maybe I can have some like adult, cookie classes and then have some like kid friendly cookie classes because they do that with the paint stuff as well. So like I would like to see that happen, within the next year.
Cool. I think you can do it, especially in Bristol.
Yeah.
So we talked about, your next stage and, the things that you want to do next. Is there anything that you want to tell the viewers that I haven't touched on about Anna Bakes?
I'm just very grateful for all the support that I've received. Like I didn't think that I would be where I am today. Like I think I started with like 200 followers when I, opened up my page, and now I'm up to like I think 700. And that might not seem a lot to people, but
Right.
starting from where I started, like to me, like
Yeah.
I'm just beyond grateful for it. And the recommendations that people give, and the reviews that people give for me, like I really appreciate everything. So I'm happy.
And like just hearing you, you're starting from the bottom, man. I don't. This is my first time talking to you, but I'm proud of you. It
Thank
reminds
you.
me. Oh, and I want to share this with you because maybe it'll give you some inspiration. Um, you know, you said you started out with 200 followers. I guess I was a little bit uh better off than you because I was a professional fighter. That helped
Right.
me, but I literally started the boxing gym that your daughter went to with just two pairs of focus mitts. Like I was going to people's houses, I was, training people at the park. I had a little gym job, and then what happened to me, I outgrew that gym. uh they gave me a bigger space, and this is what's happening to you. I'm looking at you and I'm like, she's outgrowing her cells right now. um
Yeah.
and then I had no choice but to go out and say, look, I can do it and I can do it on my own. And now 3 years after owning a gym, I'm really seeing it's paying off. My kids don't have to worry about anything. All those worries that I had before, like you're saying, like, oh, you have a good job and how you're gonna do this. It was hard at first. We were eating out of the dollar store for a little while and things like that. But in the long run, my kids, they don't remember those hard times as much as now they remember the good times.
Yeah.
So, just remember that when you do finally take that step, that yes, it's going to be hard. You are starting from nothing, but the ball is already rolling, and you're not going to be able to stop it. So,
Yeah.
so don't make it too hard on yourself, but just it does turn out good for some of us that started with nothing.
Yeah.
And have and I'm not saying that you don't have anything. I don't really know, but I didn't have $1 million. I didn't have even enough money to invest in it. But what I had is the same thing that you have, and it's like you have quality control. You have standards, and you get up and you go after it every day. um so I believe in you, Anna.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
How can people reach you?
So you guys can reach me on Facebook. My Facebook is you can just type in Ana Bakes Custom Cookies, and Ana spelled ANA. And you can reach me on Instagram at anabakes.customcookies. And I normally respond within a day if I'm not so busy, but typically less than 24 hours, I give people a response.
I'm placing an order right now. I want some sugar cookies with my logo on them. Is that possible?
How about you send me your logo, and just for being the first person to give me a podcast interview, I got you.
Well, you know what, though? You don't have to get me. I'm going to support you. So we're going to work out this order appropriately, just like I was a regular customer. But I want my logo on them. We'll do
Sounds
that.
good.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. I appreciate you being on the Young Black Suburban, and it was a pleasure. I usually give these out. I need some lotion. Enjoy the rest of your stay in Puerto Rico. And,
Thank you.
Appreciate you being on.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you.